The PSVR just turned 4 this month, and we're nearing the next generation of PlayStation hardware, so I thought it would be a great idea to revisit the PlayStation VR demo disc. This disc came with your PSVR headset at launch, showing off some of the best games and experiences so players could decide what they wanted to purchase. This was a great idea on PlayStation's part. I remember being so excited to try everything out, especially because VR still felt so unreal and magical to me in that launch period. It's also a great way to harken back to the PS1 and PS2 era, where demo discs were common. So without further ado, let's revisit the PSVR demo disc. As soon as you launch the game, you're put into a hub area filled with all the demos, a nice background, and floating PlayStation logos. This came off as a great first impression when starting up the demo disc, and personally made me wish for the PSVR to have its own stylized VR menu for selecting games, instead of just the PS4 menu on a flat screen in front of you. One great thing about this hub area is when you selected a game, it would build an environment around you, giving you a brief look at what the game could be like, while also playing some nice background music. Now before we get to the game demos, I'd first like to go over the experiences. Allumette is a PSVR short film with some really nice visuals and animation. I don't really want to say much about this, so you can go check it out for yourself if you haven't already. If you like watching VR short films, definitely check this out. Now here's the big one. This is the kitchen teaser that was shown off at E3 2015 before the PSVR was even released. This was a tech demo to demonstrate the potential of horror in virtual reality, and in 2016 this was revealed to actually be a teaser for Resident Evil 7. This is a quick 3-minute experience, but it's very effective, and is a really good showcase for new players. It doesn't hold up quite as well as RE7 graphically, but it's still very effective with its scares. Within is basically just a compilation of 360-degree videos. There's only a few on the demo, but it's really not worth checking out. The videos are very blurry, and you can find much better and higher quality videos through the YouTube app. Now let's move on to the really interesting part, the demos. Starting off, we have Battlezone, a game that still holds up extremely well today. Battlezone was actually the first VR game I played when they were doing demos for PSVR. And it almost instantly sold me on the headset. Every time I play this game, I just remember trying it out for the first time. It also makes me a little jealous of my younger self, as VR was so much more magical in the first year or two, as now I'm a lot more used to what VR has to offer. Memories aside, Battlezone is a really fun tank game with a great demo. Next up is one of the demos I played the most, Drive Club VR. It's been said a million times that the graphics are pretty bad in this game, and I agree. When it comes to the racing, I thought it was really fun, and it nailed the feeling of driving in VR. Sadly, the multiplayer shut down for this game a while ago, but the single player content still provides a fun racing experience. Valkyrie was definitely one of the most impressive games when the PSVR launched. The demo only gives you a few minutes of gameplay, but was enough to sell most players. I remember every time I experienced the launch sequence, it gave me goosebumps. It's an extremely polished and well done game, and while I think games like Star Wars Squadrons are better than Valkyrie, at the time it came out, nothing came close to it. Gnog is the only game on this list that I still haven't purchased. Though from the demo, it presented a colorful and fun art style, and some unique puzzles. It's definitely not one of the better demos on this list, but going back and playing it has me hoping it'll go on sale again soon. This demo is an interesting one, Harmonix Music VR. Honestly, this is a game where if you're gonna have any fun with it, it's gonna be with the demo. The full game isn't really worth purchasing. The best thing this had going for it at the time was the mode for drawing, but now there are far better apps for that. The other modes are just random one and done things. Headmaster is a game I never really had interest in after playing the demo. It's not really something you can decide on after playing a few minutes. I purchased the game a year or two ago, but haven't actually sat down and played through it, so I don't have much to say about this game. It's a game that has you hitting soccer balls with your head into the goal or targets, and your goal is to try and get as many points as possible. It's an interesting concept, but like I said, I don't have much to say about it. One of the very few horror titles we had at launch was Here They Lie, which I stayed away from because I wanted nothing to do with horror in VR. But years later, after playing most of the horror games on the headset, I still hadn't played Here They Lie. I'm actually planning on streaming it this month for Halloween. But as for the demo itself, it does an extremely good job at setting up the atmosphere. It has some awesome environments, effects, and gives you just enough to make you want to play the full game. But I must say, this is one of the blurriest games on this demo disc. Job Simulator is another one of the first games I purchased with my headset. I describe it as one of the perfect introduction games to PSVR. The controls are extremely simple and natural, the gameplay is silly and fun, it's a stationary game, almost everything can be interacted with, and it's a really polished game. The demo just lets you mess around with the desk job for a few minutes, but even that is plenty of time to have some fun with this game. I don't know how fun it would be for users who have been playing VR for years, but for new players it was a lot of fun. Another great introduction game is PlayStation VR Worlds, as it gives you 5 different VR experiences to play. As for the demo, it gives you the shooting range from the London Heist and the wildlife tour from Ocean Descent. I personally didn't play the demo as I had purchased the full game, but it's nice that they let people try out 2 of the best games of the bunch. Rez Infinite is a remaster of the Sega game Rez that was released on the Dreamcast and PS2. The demo features a level that has you taking down enemies, flying through several fun areas, and fighting a boss battle. The gameplay, effects, soundtrack, and visuals on display here are awesome even today, and the game really stands out from any other game on the headset. I personally don't recall playing the demo when I got my PSVR, but a year or two later I ended up playing the full game and had a lot of fun with it, especially with the new Area X level. Rig's Mechanized Combat League is a game that never really clicked with me. I've tried to play it several times but just couldn't get into it. I feel like I had more fun with it trying the demo again for this video, but I'm not sure if it's something I could see myself getting addicted to. I will say the game's presentation is great. The graphics still hold up extremely well, the sound design and commentators are great, it controls and plays well, and it's very polished. Now, one game I do have a lot of great memories with is Thumper. This is an intense rhythm game that has you playing as a bug on an infinite rail. There's no context or story to the game, it's just going across a rail, hitting notes, and defeating bosses. The game is fast, fun, intense, and the graphics look incredible. Even after all these years, this game stands out from any other rhythm game and is worth it even at full price. The demo also gives you a good amount of content to get used to the game and see if it's something for you. I remember playing this demo several times as I was blown away with it. Next is Tumble VR, which was one of the very first games I purchased along with my headset. This game was developed by Supermassive Games, a company I'll bring up again very shortly. Tumble VR has you playing levels related to block physics. Some levels will have you destroying towers, and in others you'll have to stack blocks as high as possible. It's a very simple puzzle game, but there's some fun to be had in it. Sadly, the demo isn't very fun though, since there's a bunch of really drawn out tutorials. But it gives you a rough idea of the full game. Once again, this is a game I purchased on day one, so I never ended up playing the demo until now, but I'd just wait until you see the game go on sale for a few dollars if you're still interested. One of the best demos on this list is Until Dawn Rush of Blood, a horror game that takes place on a roller coaster. And just like Tumble VR, this game is also developed by Supermassive Games. But sadly, this ended up being Supermassive Games' best VR title. They went on to make more VR games like the Inpatient and Bravo Team, which didn't get great feedback from both fans and reviewers. But Rush of Blood is one of those games that has been and still is very impressive on the PSVR. The game has really great graphics, fast coaster rides, great gameplay, and is overall a fantastic game. The demo includes an entire level, and it was the perfect amount of content to sell players on this game. And the very last demo I'll be covering is Wayward Sky, which is a point-and-click adventure game in PSVR. I've always kind of thought this game was just okay. The puzzles are kind of shallow, and the game just isn't very interesting. It does have some nice environments and a good art style, but I just never really enjoyed it that much. So that was the very first PlayStation VR demo disc. I'm glad I went back and revisit this as it brought back a lot of great memories. It also made me realize how far the PSVR has come in the past 4 years. A good amount of these games were pretty simple and blurry, but now we're getting games like Minecraft, Star Wars Squadrons, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, and other great titles. And I know the PSVR will only get better with the PS5. Whether that's with upgraded games or a brand new headset, we'll just have to wait and see. Let me know if you enjoyed this video, and maybe I'll go back and revisit both Demo Disc 2 and Demo Disc 3. Thanks for watching.